In John 14, verse 18, Jesus said, "No, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you." Sometimes life can feel like a storm, like living in a difficult time, like everything is against you. Sometimes life can just be difficult and painful. And one of the things that makes life seem more difficult and painful than maybe it is the holiday season. Somebody once said that nothing shines a spotlight on pain like the holidays, and it's really true. The holidays are like a magnifying glass. They just magnify all the stuff that we each struggle with on a daily basis. It makes it just a little bit harder than it really is, or maybe it seems to be harder than it usually is. And when you feel like this, I want you to remember, I want to remind you that Jesus is aware of what's going on in your life. He cares about what's going on in your life. And maybe most importantly, he's going to help you. He's going to come to you. In the book of Mark, we are told about this moment in the lives of the disciples when they're having a really hard time, and it's interesting what Jesus does for the disciples. Mark chapter 6, we're told that late at night, the boat was in the middle of the lake. Jesus was alone on the land, and he saw the disciples straining at the oars because the wind was against them. Shortly before dawn, he went out to be with them, walking on the lake. Now, the disciples were in a bad situation here. Maybe you can relate. They were all alone. There was no one out there to help them. It was dark, and maybe darkness has entered your life. They were straining at the oars. They were working so hard to try to get out of that situation. And ultimately, maybe the worst thing, the wind was against them. No matter what they did, there was no way they could fix their problem. And the cool thing is that maybe in your situation, you might feel like that, but in their situation, Jesus saw it. He saw the whole thing. He was on the shore watching the disciples working hard. He knew they were alone. He knew how dark it was because he was in the same darkness. And Jesus could have just stood there on the shore and yelled at them, right? He could have said, "What are you doing out there? Why are you out there in the middle of the lake in the middle of the night? Come on back here." Or he could have said, "Row harder," or "row to the left." Jesus didn't stand on the shore and yell at them, and Jesus didn't stand on the shore and give them instructions. Instead, Jesus left the shore and he went to be with them. I love this story because this is really the story of the Christmas season that we celebrate. That God saw us as humanity, and he saw our struggles. He saw how dark things were. He saw how desperate we were, and that nobody was coming to help. And what did Jesus do? Well, he could have from heaven sent us another prophet, or he could have yelled at us some instructions on how to live. But instead, Jesus came here. He left his home in heaven to come and meet us where we were. This is the story of Jesus. This is the gospel. This is the Christmas we celebrate, that we have a God who comes to meet us in our desperation, who comes to be with us in our struggles and in our trials. And when the wind is against us, we can bank on Jesus coming to be with us. So whatever you're facing today, whether you're alone or in the dark or straining to fix something, or you just feel like the wind is against you, I hope you can be encouraged by the fact, by the truth that you have a Savior who is coming to be with you. And that makes all the difference in the world. Bye.